The present topic of discussion is about periodontal ligament in oral histology, wherein we will be discussing about its development, components, principal fibers as well as functions of periodontal ligament. So now let's see the introduction about the periodontal ligament. So basically what is it? Periodontal ligament, it is a soft specialized connective tissue which is situated in between cementum covering the root surface and the bone forming the socket wall. So as you can see, those horizontal fibers, those are all nothing but periodontal ligament fibers which are extending from cementum on one side to the alveolar process on the other side. So if you see the width of the periodontal ligament, it varies. So that it varies in a range that is from 0.15 to 0.38 mm. So this variation, because of that, this periodontal ligament, it is thinnest in the middle third of the root. Because it is thinnest in the middle third of the root, it gives a hourglass appearance. And this periodontal ligament thickness, it decreases with the age. And if you see the width of periodontal ligament space on radiographs, it is around 0.4 to 1.5 mm. On radiographs, it is 0.4 to 1.5 mm. And this periodontal ligament, it is called by various names like desmodont, gomphosis, pericementum, dental periosteum, alveolo-dental ligament and periodontal membrane. These are all various terminologies which are given for periodontal ligament. And this periodontal ligament, it is basically a fibrous connective tissue and it is highly cellular. So it contains cells, and also along with cells they contain extracellular matrix which contains fibers as well as ground substance. Now let's see how does a periodontal ligament formed, that is development of periodontal ligament. So basically if you see tooth development around advanced bell stage, wherein the mineralized structures like enamel and dentin are formed, that is a complete crown is formed. After the crown is formed, from the cervical loop, both the inner as well as outer enamel epithelium, they extend downward as a two-layered cell. So that is the cervical loop, and that is the adjacent one wherein there is a two-layered two-layered cells, which is nothing but Hertwig's epithelial root sheath, which extends downwards for helping in the root dentin formation. So now that these Hertwig's epithelial root sheath, it stimulates the cells of dental papilla to form the root dentin and then cementum. So now, like after root dentin is formed, the Hertwig's epithelial root sheath will undergo fenestrations or breaks within it. As you can see in the second picture, so those black cells are nothing but cells of Hertwig's epithelial root sheath, wherein it undergoes breaks. So from within these breaks, what happens is that on the outer side of these Hertwig's epithelial root sheath, there are various dental sac cells, of which some mesenchymal cells of the dental sac, they differentiate into fibroblasts and they come through the gaps and they get attached to this cementum. So basically what is the function of fibroblasts? To deposit collagen fibers. So these collagen fibers are nothing but are principal fibers of a periodontal ligament. So this is how these periodontal ligament fibers will start to arise from the root dentin, that is from the cementum towards the alveolar bone. So now these are nothing but periodontal ligament fibers. Now let's see how these fibers are formed one by one, as we have different types of periodontal ligament fibers. So if you see in the second picture, so a crown is formed now that the root formation has started, and the first group of fibers which start to extend from the cementum towards the alveolar bone on the other side, they are called as alveolar crest group of fibers. So these are the first fibers and they are formed in an oblique direction. So these are the first group of fibers which are formed in a periodontal ligament. So after the alveolar crest group of fibers are formed, upon the eruption, as the root is forming, there will be slowly movement of the tooth towards the occlusion. So eruption will start. As the eruption as well as root formation begins, more and more collagen fibers start to deposit. If you see in this first picture, so more and more collagen fibers have been deposited. As the tooth moves into its move towards the occlusion, so the middle fibers which are oblique will start to become horizontal. As you can see, some are horizontal, right? those are nothing but horizontal fibers. So those extend, they are present right angles to the tooth structure. And as the tooth it moves towards the occlusion, more and more fibers they develop on the remaining root surface, which are present in an oblique direction. So as the root formation is getting completed, these oblique fibers they become mature, and these are termed as oblique fibers itself. And now when the root formation is completed, then will be the development of apical group of fibers which extend into the socket, alveolus of the socket. Okay, this is how our periodontal ligament fibers are developed. Now what are all components of periodontal ligament? So as I told you earlier, it is highly cellular, that is it comprises cells with extracellular matrix containing fibers as well as ground substance. So now let's look into what are the components of these extracellular matrix. So the main components of extracellular matrix will be collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and non-collagenous proteins, oxytocin fibers, along with these some ground substance matrices like glycosaminoglycans and proteoglycans. So these are the various components of extracellular matrix, of which collagen is very important protein, which is collagen is a very important protein which is formed by fibroblasts. And collagen, as I told you, it's a protein, so it is made of amino acids. So what are all the different type of amino acids? So that is glycine, proline and hydroxylysine and hydroxyproline. These are the various amino acids which help in formation of an alpha chain. So each collagen molecule is formed by 3 alpha chains which are twisted in the form of an alpha helix like this. So many of these alpha chains, they again fuse together, they again bind together to give rise to pre-procollagen and procollagen molecules like that. So these procollagen molecules, they again bind in a periodic manner, giving in the formation of collagen fibrils. And these collagen fibrils again they bundle together in a chronic characteristic periodicity. This characteristic periodicity of arrangement of these collagen fibrils give some transverse striations, as you can see in this picture. So this diameter of each transverse striation is around 64 nanometers. So these striations are because of the overlapping arrangement of these collagen molecules. So as formation of collagen is by fibroblasts, even degradation is also by fibroblasts only. And depending upon the type of alpha chains, that is genes which are produced, there are 27 types of collagen which are there. So of which type 1 and type 3, they are the predominant collagens which are seen in PDL, whereas the type 1 is the main type of collagen, or it forms a bulk of periodontal ligament. That is 70% of the PDL is formed by type 1 collagen only, whereas the remaining percent it is formed by type 3 collagen, wherein this type 3 collagen, it is covalently linked to type 1. So and what is the main function of this type 3 collagen is that it helps in rapid turnover rate of collagen. So this rate of turnover, it differs in various parts of the tooth. So here in the same tooth, the rate of turnover will be more in case of root apex. Okay, that is by type 3 only. So if you see, this is a root dentin, this is the pink structure is that root dentin, and the outer black line you can see, that is cementum. Okay, and this yellow line what you see, it is alveolar bone. Think that this is alveolar bone and this black line is cementum. And these fibers, they are arranged, these collagen fibers, they are arranged in bundles which are extending from alveolar bone towards the cemental surface. So the portion where these collagen fibers are called as principal fibers of periodontal ligament, and the portion where these principal fibers are attaching in cementum as well as in the alveolar bone are called as Sharpey's fibers. So these Sharpey's fibers are smaller at cemental end compared to that of this alveolar bone end, and they are fully mineralized on cemental end, whereas partially mineralized on the alveolar bone end. So that is about collagen. Now let's see about various principal fibers of periodontal ligament. As we have discussed about some of the principal fibers during the development, those we will discuss in detail now. So this is a picture showing all the groups of fibers in periodontal ligament. So firstly we will see about alveolar crest group, which are formed first, and these alveolar crest group, they extend from cementum, that is below the cemento enamel junction. The origin is below cemento enamel junction, and they extend toward and they run downwards and get inserted into the alveolar crest, as you can see from below CJ towards the alveolar crest, and they prevent extrusion of the teeth and also helps in resisting lateral tilting as well as intrusive movements of the tooth. So this is the main function of alveolar crest group. So they prevent extrusion of the tooth. So what is the next group is horizontal group. Here also they extend from cementum. As you can see, the direction of horizontal group is perpendicular to that of the tooth surface. Okay, so they extend from cementum on the root towards the alveolar bone on the either side. And this horizontal group, it resists horizontal and tipping forces. So that is the main function of the horizontal group of fibers. Next we shall see about oblique group of fibers. So here also the origin is from the cementum on the root surface, but it runs obliquely. That is, that oblique also, it is in the coronal direction. So it runs obliquely in coronal direction and inserts into the alveolar bone. And this oblique group is the largest group seen in a tooth, and it resists vertical masticatory forces. So as it resists vertical masticatory forces, it prevents intrusion of the tooth. So oblique group of fibers are very important. They are the largest group of fibers. And next comes the apical group of fibers. So apical group of fibers can be seen only in a completely formed tooth, completely formed root. Okay, if the root is not formed, then apical group of fibers are not seen. So from the cementum, and it fans out, as you can see, it fans out in an irregular fashion and get inserted into the apex of the socket, and they resist vertical as well as luxative forces, and they are also said to protect delicate nerves and vessels around the periodontal ligament. So this is about apical group. Now let's see interradicular group of fibers of PDL. So here from cementum of the root surface to the interradicular septum of the bone. So down there is bone, which is an interradicular bone which is present. So it extends from cementum to the interradicular bone. It resists vertical and lateral movement. So if you see a tooth, it is affected with any chronic periodontal disease, these interradicular fibers are the first ones which get to be lost. Okay, whenever there is a periodontal disease, interradicular fibers will be lost first. So these are the various principal fibers of periodontal ligament. Now let's see about elastic fibers. So there are three types of elastic fibers, wherein the first one is mature elastic fibers, next is elastin fibers, eulenin fibers, and oxytolin fibers. These eulenin and oxytolin fibers, they are together called as immature elastic fibers. So firstly we'll see about oxytolin fibers. So these are, as I already told you, they are immature elastin fibers and they contain type 4 collagen. And this is a picture wherein if you see like see the number, the denotation B represents principal oxytolin fibers and C represents oxytolin tract. As you can see, these and that round, these middle portion, that is the blood vessel. Okay, so as you can see, this orientation of these oxytolin fibers, it is very much different that of collagen fibers, because instead of running from bone to the tooth, they start to run in an axial direction. That is, on one side it gets embedded in cementum, but on one other side gets embedded in the blood vessel, wall of blood vessel, but not in bone. So as it is getting inserted into the blood vessel, we can get to know that the function of this oxytolin fibers is involved in regulation of blood flow to the periodontal ligament, and these are more in cases where there is heavy masticatory stress. So now let's see about reticulin fibers. So this reticulin fibers, they are made of type 3 collagen fibers, and because they are type 3